Well, hello, 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 and welcome to the UMTC Elite Educator interview. My very special guest today is Heather Savage. Hello, Miss Heather.
Hi, Glory.
Oh my goodness. First of all, I want to say congratulations on achieving your Ultimate Music Theory certification. And
Thank
I want
you.
to introduce you to Miss Heather. So Heather Savage teaches piano and saxophone and clarinet and music theory and composition. Oh my gosh, you're teaching all ages and your students have been accepted into elite ensembles and competitive collegiate music programs, both in
Mhm.
performance and composition. And once again, just congratulations on running your very successful business, Essential Music Lessons. So round of applause for you, Heather.
Thank you.
So let's look back a little bit. How did you get started in music theory before you became this success magnet?
Well, my story began a long time ago. My dad started teaching me piano and how to read music when I was 3. And so I have been reading music even since before I was reading English.
Wow.
So when I started taking formal lessons when I was 5, my teacher there taught me all my scales and primary chords in major and minor. So I had all that by the time I was 8. And then um, I started learning more chords with another teacher. So music theory has always been part of my learning. I wrote my first song at 5. It wasn't much of anything, but I had all the notes in the right spots and the right number of beats per measure
Yeah.
because I had been taught these things and it was so familiar to me. And I continued having an interest in composition, just doing it on my own and dabbling as I continued piano lessons. When I was 13, I kind of had enough of classical piano,
Mhm.
and I switched to taking jazz piano and learned a lot more theory.
Yes,
Learned
yes.
all my jazz chords and all my modes and things like that. And um, and I read theory books for fun and harmony books and just explored a lot on my own. So I went to college for music, but not for composition. And that's a long story for another day. But when I started teaching when I was 15. I had a couple of beginner clarinet students and a couple of beginner piano students, and I've always loved teaching as well. So the performing, the composing, and the teaching, they've always all been there. And I like having the different aspects to my musical life. So I don't know.
Well, I have to say kudos to you, Heather, because when you have taken your foundation and obviously you started with that, but you've turned it into a business. And you've learned, I think, very quickly about the importance of having music theory as your foundation because you're already composing at the age of 5,
Yeah.
and having that, not just a little box of crayons with 3 colors, 3 primary colors, but you've taken that palette and now you're sharing it with your students. And
Hmm.
I'm sure they absolutely love the creativity that you bring into your music studio, and you're teaching all ages as well, right?
Right. I have students that right now are as young as 5, and I have a woman studying with me who's 65. So,
And isn't it fun to have that variety too? I think as music educators, We're so blessed because so many times, school teachers, you're either teaching kindergarten or, the little baby grades 1 to 4, or, you kind of get into the intermediate level or advanced, college and so on. But with music educators, we got to know it all. And when you're looking at your journey, where were you in your business that kind of made you make that shift before you signed up for the Ultimate Music Theory Certification and Elite Educator Program?
Well, a couple of years ago, I went to the Ultimate Music the online Ultimate Music Business Summit. I think that's the first time I heard of Ultimate Music Theory, and I first explored that, but I wasn't ready to do that yet because I was thinking more about composition and how to expand that. And then I went the next year to the same Ultimate Music Business Summit,
Yeah.
and saw your presentation again. And I was like, I'll give it more thought. So at that point, the pandemic had taken its toll on a lot of musical things, and even my studio drastically decreased. I had 13 I think 13 private students, but then when everything shut down, only 2 of them wanted to continue online. So that really decimated my
Yes.
studio.
Big time, right?
Oh, it was pretty awful.
Yeah.
And I was out of work because I didn't have the chorus, chorus especially. We
Yeah.
weren't singing, so there was no work there. And no performances of compositions either. So
Yeah.
it was really just kind of a standstill. And the following year, I decided I need to make up some of my income that was lost during the shutdowns. So I took a job at a private school and taught music 3 days a week. And also I took a position teaching at someone else's studio.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy teaching. I enjoyed the school, but with all of the work combined and the choruses picked up again, it was not sustainable.
Yeah.
I was working way too much. I was working, oh, it was a lot. I can't do all the math right now. And when I saw your presentation and thought more about doing group theory classes, I said, well, this sounds like a solution. And it sounds like something that I can kind of take the heat off composition a little bit and not worry about that so much right now and focus on what I know that I can turn into some real income, and that I can focus on growing my teaching business for now and get that established and stable. And so that's when I started taking the course, and I signed up for the course. At that point, I had increased back to 7 students, but I was still, even with my attempts at marketing, that I really didn't know what I was doing.
Well, you're not alone. You're not alone, Heather, because I think when we look at ourselves as music educators, sometimes we need to pivot, right? We need to make a shift in order to explore new things. And even though you were thinking, well, what if I put these theory club classes together? Now you're opening up the crayon box again for composition and understanding things at a deeper level. And now your little students too, at the age of 5, can just follow in your footsteps. So when you're looking back at, you're going to make this pivot in your life now. So what was maybe an obstacle or a struggle that you were looking to overcome in your business?
2 things primarily. One was that I was having trouble finding my own students. That's why I had taken the job with the other studio.
Right.
Because I couldn't find my own students.
Right.
And the second was I needed to have more, I guess, be more official, because I had problems with students calling up at the last minute for cancellations, and things like that. And I knew that I needed to get things in order, but I wasn't really that organized myself, and I didn't really know how to go about that.
I think, I'm so glad that you mentioned that, Heather, because, in the Ultimate Music Theory Certification course and the Elite Educator program, so much of what we talk about, of course, is becoming certified as a music theory educator. So you have all of those tools, but
Mm-hmm.
also the business aspect, because so many times you started teaching at 15. You're ahead of me. I started when I was 16. Think about it. How many business owners can start a business at the age of 15 with no education about running a business? You just start. And then when we get a little older and we're really serious and saying, you know what, I need to be making some serious money here. I can be running a six-figure business teaching music. But I do need the strategies and the systems in place in order to make that happen for me. And so I don't have to take 30 years to figure it out. But if there's a program that I can step into and go, okay, here's all the registration forms and marketing materials and all this, I think, yeah, I wish I would have had that when I was
Right.
16. I would have been there too. So when you're looking back, how did perhaps the UMTC Lead Educator program help you in growing your business? You've taken this step, and what was that like for you?
Um, I would say that the first thing was really helping with the marketing and learning what people kind of want to hear from me in order to have that feeling that they know me and
Right.
that they trust me. And I had heard things like that before, but I didn't really understand
Mhm.
what that meant. And I felt like the UMTC program really, and your coaching calls that you do really fleshed that out and helped me to understand what kinds of things I needed to put online and how to communicate who I am, what I teach, what I offer. And that marketing, I've heard back from several of the people, the parents that signed their kids up for lessons since then, have said to me, yeah, I saw you on Facebook. I saw you online. I was really impressed with how you presented yourself. And so that was a major part, has been a major part of me finding some new students or them finding me.
Yes, well,
um,
that's true.
and the second was, getting um, getting the contract made, um, being confident about that and confident to say, I can ask for what I'm asking for. I can ask for commitment for this school year. I can ask for a certain payment schedule, and having that confidence to do that. Um, and I feel like I was kind of not. I knew I had a business,
Yeah.
but it was kind of this baby business, and it was time to grow up.
Yeah.
And I was kind of, I told someone the other day that I feel like now I see myself as a business owner that
Mhm.
specializes in music
Right.
rather than a musician who's just trying to make some money. So,
Yeah.
um, and because of that, I feel like, UMTC has helped me to take my business seriously and to communicate to other people. You need to take me seriously.
Yes.
So,
I'm so proud of you, Heather. I just can't say congratulations enough because you shine so brightly and you're such a contributor to the community inside our UMTC Elite Educator program. And it is wonderful that you share so openly because I think, and the reason, and isn't it wonderful that the parents of your students recognize how you shine so brightly, and it really means something when parents recognize that in you. And it's not about how many letters you have after your name. There's a
right.
lot of people that have way more letters after their name than I do. But what is important is how you show up, how you run your business, and how you're not spending a lot of time doing all these non-paying things if you have systems in place that can get you there and your policies, as you said, and your marketing materials, so that you can spend more time teaching, which is where the revenue comes into your business. So I know you've had a lot of success. Do you want to share? You got to brag a little bit about you've just doubled in size in your business, which is incredible. Can you tell us a little bit about how that happened for you?
Yeah, well, in May, I had 7 students at the end of the school year. And actually, several of those students dropped piano over the summer and didn't come back. So I gained, let's see, I think I gained eight new students since September. And well, I think it's more than that, but I'm doing the math. I can't do it in my head right now without taking up too much time.
Well,
But
and to grow from 7 to 15 and
yes,
double your numbers,
yes,
how many businesses can say, oh yeah, we just doubled our numbers? Not
I
many.
know. And it
Not
was
many.
6 months.
Yeah.
And it's not even that long because I really didn't get going because I watched, the videos and things like that, but I had other things going on during the summer too,
Yes.
and including a composition festival that I was part of. So I started really marketing in August, early August. So that growth has really only been since August.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. And when I look at how your growth has just really expanded, I mean, one of the things about the Elite Educator program is, first of all, there's the certification course for music theory, but there's the business aspect of it too. And those business principles that I teach inside the program apply to everything. And I
Yes.
know now you have taken your business brain, Miss Heather, and now you've started a podcast.
Yes.
So congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
and what does that feel like for you?
I find it so fun. I
Yeah.
think just interviewing other musicians and finding out what projects they're doing in their communities and how they're contributing to their communities. I think people don't really understand how integral music is
Mhm.
to every community. So I'm really excited to get the word out about all of these different ideas.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, congratulations, because I've
thanks.
seen, when you take what you've learned and then you implement those strategies, that's really the key. Everybody can take a course and read a book or, go sign up for something. But if you don't implement what you've learned, it's kind of like a music student who comes for lessons every week, but they never practice, right? So
Right.
I really want to say I'm proud of you, Heather, because I've seen your implementation, your action steps, you're, completing your certification course. So tell us what's coming up next for you in your business.
Well, I have in me like actually this coming Sunday. So in 2 days, I am doing what I'm calling a whip share with my students, and that's called it's for works in progress share. And so we're going to do it online. And several of my students are joining the group, and they're going to present pieces that they are working on and just, play for us. If I had composition students right now, they could share something they were composing. But right now it's just piano students this time. And they're going to play for us a piece that they're working on. And we're just going to have a discussion. And
Nice.
I'm like on an what is it? Perfectionism. They're
Yes.
anti-perfectionism campaign. So I really
Fantastic.
want my students to feel like they have a safe place to share
Yep.
something that's not performance ready,
Yep.
that, we can learn from one another and encourage one another. And I have some open houses for music theory classes coming up in November and December.
Nice.
Because I think a lot of people don't know what music theory is.
Yep.
So I'm hoping to kind of educate the public
Yes.
this is what music theory is. This is what a class is like, and give them an opportunity to try it out
Yeah.
before, I start classes officially in January.
Yeah. Wow. You're just
Yeah.
knocking it out of the ballpark. And I love what you said about, perfectionism, because oftentimes when people think about going into a performance, they get that anxiety about them. And just the more you have, and I think that's the beauty of having theory club classes, is that I remember in my theory club classes, I would take the pieces that were in the book, and I would have, each one go up to the piano. Sometimes each one play the same piece. And then we would say, oh, so they played it faster or slower or differently, or what did you like about it? And I liked how they added dynamics or changed the articulation, or were sitting up straight or took a bow. I didn't take a bow. I forgot about a bow. So that prepares you mentally for going into the performances where now it is important to shine brightly. So it is okay. And I think you're going to do so well with your open house and, having your students shine. So yay. I'm excited to
Thank
hear the
you.
results, Heather.
I am too. I know that my students that are signed up are really looking forward to that whip share. So piano can be really lonely. That's
Yeah.
one of the reasons that I ended up eventually adding clarinet and saxophone, because I wanted to play in the band and play with other people. And I still prefer playing music with other people as a collaborative pianist. So, but when it's just the student and the teacher, that can be really very small group.
Yeah,
But
very small
so
group.
I'm hoping my students will have a chance to socialize too and feel like they are part of a group.
Yeah. And so community is everything. I mean,
Hmm.
we're, as humans, that's what we like to do. We'd like to have community and surroundings, and it just makes, the world a happy place when we develop new friendships and connect with others, in different nationalities and different countries, and explore different music styles. And it's amazing. And so when you look back, how has the UMT Elite Educator program changed how you were thinking about your business?
I'd say when taking it seriously and saying, now it's time to be official and be structured and organized, and but a lot of it has to do, I mean, I've gone through the last couple of years have been a process of learning to listen to myself, take myself seriously, and then communicate to other people, you need to take me seriously.
Yeah.
And so the UMTC program kind of fit right into that kind of scheme that was going on in my life overall, and helped me to apply that to thinking about business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it shows when you're already structuring, running an open house and doing your program where your students can come in as a performance class without feeling the pressure of any anxiety. We're just going to go and, jam, as you would say, and have fun. And then running a podcast and adding multiple instruments into your studio, like, woo, there's so many ideas that are coming to my mind just listening to you, Heather. So what would you say to someone who's thinking about taking this program to elevate and impact and grow their expert music business, just like you?
Yeah. Well, I looked into a lot of different, I had mentioned before that I went to the Online Music Business Summit, and I looked into a bunch of different options for how to grow my teaching studio and different things. And I know for me that teaching the music theory groups fit best with me. And I feel that if somebody is interested in music theory, this is the best thing, because you can increase your income, and make each hour count for more. Which, especially since I'm also composing and working as a collaborative pianist, I don't have endless hours for teaching. I have, and Um, so I have to maximize my time.
Yeah.
And I'm also really appreciative of that you have made a great program. Everything's already done.
Yep.
And I've taught theory before in groups and with a homeschool program that I had formed a while back. And that went well. And but when I thought about kind of doing that on a larger scale, it was overwhelming to think, how am I going to make all the what I need to, make a workbook or, all these assignments or whatever. And you have that all done. So I don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's an excellent program. And then you provide all kinds of training and the games and things that are online. And so, I know that everybody has a different personality and, everybody's going to have a different way of wanting to grow. But if somebody's interested in music theory and making that a part of their studio, this is the way to go. And I
Oh,
also like that, you have the exams, right?
yeah.
And they're not easy. I and I use this stuff all the time. I mean, I don't necessarily write everything by hand because I have my own,
Yeah.
pen scratch thing that I can interpret when I'm putting things into my notation software. But everything else, I'm like, this stuff isn't easy. I use it all the time, but these exams are pretty hard. And knowing that you have a standard and you say you have to meet a certain standard to pass.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know that everybody who is a certified teacher with UMTC really knows their stuff. And it helps me. I highly respect you. I highly respect all the people in UMTC. And I know that when we meet up and have conversation that if there's a lot of camaraderie there and a lot of community, even though we are online and we're all over the world, it's really amazing to be part of. So I would highly encourage anybody to sign up with you and with UMTC. Yeah, it's a lot more than just the program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Heather. I so appreciate you. I love seeing you in the coaching calls. And I want to say a big congratulations to you again on all your success. I look forward to hearing more about your podcast and hearing about the success of your students and your composition and all the other amazing things that you're doing at your music studio. So thank you so much, Heather. And for those of you interested in learning more, you can go to ultimatemusicteachers.com and you can book a call with us, learn a little bit more about the program at ultimatemusicteachers.com. So thank you so much again, Heather. I so appreciate you.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.